Welcome to another edition of What's on My Mind. This week I want to touch on the important issue of constitutional reform. Where we are today really began in the 1990s when the government of Most Honorable P.J. Patterson established a constitutional commission to look at issues relating to constitutional reform. And they produced a report which was submitted to Parliament and was reviewed in Parliament by a joint select committee, which I believe was chaired by David Corr, a senior and very celebrated attorney. After 7 years of really doing nothing about constitutional reform, the Prime Minister, on the visit of Prince William and his wife Kate to Jamaica last year, announced that we'd be moving on from the monarchy. We in the People's National Party have been committed to Jamaica becoming a republic. It's part of our DNA, as we are also committed to Jamaica adhering to the jurisdiction of the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final court of appeal, replacing the Privy Council, which is the King's Court that sits in London. The approach of the government was essentially to dust off all the recommendations that came from the process in the 1990s of constitutional review and reform, and to seek to move to a presidential system, essentially replacing the Governor General with a Jamaican president who would be performing most of the functions and have most of the responsibilities that the Governor General presently carries out. One outstanding issue was how would that president be appointed? Our position is that it is vital that the new president enjoy the trust and confidence of the whole society, and that the person who is appointed should enjoy the support of both sides of the aisle in the Houses of Parliament. So we have suggested that the voting should include a requirement for a 2/3 majority, both in the lower house and in the Senate, even if they sit together for a joint sitting. And that would ensure that the person who is appointed has to have the support of both sides of the aisle. The debate that has ensued since the Constitutional Reform Committee was appointed earlier this year has moved way beyond where the government really intended it to go. Jamaicans want to see this issue of constitutional reform considered in a holistic way, with all things being on the table. Many Jamaicans would like to see us move to a presidential system where the president is elected by the people and has executive powers, more like what happens in the United States of America. On the other hand, the People's National Party is willing to move forward incrementally, because whereas we have always been in favor of an executive presidential system, we realize that that cannot be achieved without consensus, and the Jamaica Labour Party are not in favor of it. So as step one, let us move to decolonize fully, removing the monarchy in England as our head of state and having a Jamaican president who enjoys the trust and confidence of Jamaicans generally, playing the important role that the Governor General now plays in relation to appointments to certain sensitive posts in the public sector, dealing with disciplinary matters in the public service, and also certain ceremonial duties. We also feel very strongly that we must provide full access for our people to their final court of appeal. Now, that does not currently exist with the Privy Council in London because, first of all, a Jamaican needs a visa to visit the United Kingdom. We are the only country in the world whose final court cannot be accessed by its citizens without getting a visa issued at the discretion of another country. And the costs involved in trying to take a case to the Privy Council in London are prohibitively high and way out of reach of ordinary Jamaicans. Jamaica helped to establish the Caribbean Court of Justice. We paid into the trust fund that supports its operations our share. The Regional Judicial Services Commission is established to ensure the highest quality judges independent of political interference. And the court is an itinerant court, meaning it can move to the different islands where it hears cases, such as it did in the Shanique Myrie case when a Jamaican won a monetary award against Barbados for having infringed her community rights to access their country. The CCJ has built a tremendous reputation for excellence during the 15 plus years that it has been operating, and it is time for Jamaicans to have benefit of accessing a regional court of expertise and independence that can provide jurisprudence of the highest quality for our people. Thank you for listening to What's on My Mind this week.
Family, what do you think about Mark Golding have to say about the final court of appeal? Should it be in London, where you have to seek a visa to go to? Or should it be in the Caribbean, where our Caribbean communities, where our Caribbean brothers and sisters make our own, decisions when it comes to our final court. Tell me what you think in the comment section. As usual, I am always a student in your guys' class. Make sure your comments make sense in every sentence. If this is the first time on this platform, you like what to do, go ahead and subscribe and make this place your home. You don't have to do it right now, you can always go and check out the video that's already done and come back right home. If you don't like what we do, don't come out with no doodle, don't come out with no trouble, just hit the button, find another page with a rage. Have a wonderful day, people. I'm out.